The studio lights were hot. The air felt thick, not from heat, but from tension. Viewers at home could see it in their eyes. Keir Starmer and Rayner weren't just answering questions tonight. They were fighting to keep their political footing. And across from them, Douglas Murray sat with the calm of a man who knew he was about to land a blow. Every pause he made, every look to the camera, hinted at something coming, something sharp enough to cut through the careful political polish. What happened next wasn't just a TV clash. It was the kind of moment people would be replaying and arguing about for days. The program had started like any other heated political debate. Keir Starmer spoke in his usual measured way, carefully laying out Labour's vision. Rayner, sitting beside him, had her trademark energy, leaning forward, gesturing passionately. But Murray wasn't there for the usual back and forth. He waited, listening quietly, letting them speak at length. The host, sensing the simmer, moved on to a question about leadership credibility. That was Murray's opening. With a calm but firm tone, Murray began dismantling their arguments point by point. He didn't shout, he didn't need to. Instead, he quoted their own past statements, comparing them to recent actions. The words, "You can't expect trust when you rewrite your promises," landed like a hammer. The camera caught a flicker of discomfort on Starmer's face. Rayner jumped in, her voice rising, accusing Murray of twisting their words, but that only seemed to give him more control of the conversation. Then came the moment that changed the room. Murray leaned forward and asked Starmer directly about a controversial policy reversal, something Starmer had once passionately opposed but now supported. "If you can change your stance this easily," Murray said, "why should the public believe you won't change it again when it suits you?" The silence that followed was heavy. Starmer tried to explain the shift as a necessary adaptation to current realities, but the audience reaction told a different story. Murmurs, raised eyebrows, even a few sharp laughs. Rayner, ever the fighter, tried to pull the debate back, accusing Murray of ignoring the challenges of governance. But Murray was ready. "Leadership," he replied, "is about more than just managing challenges. It's about standing for something when it's hard." It wasn't just what he said. It was how he said it. Calm, precise, unflinching. By the end, Starmer and Rayner looked more defensive than determined, and Murray had taken the narrative into his own hands. The clash wasn't about policy anymore, it was about credibility. And in a single live broadcast, that credibility had been tested in front of the nation. In the control room, producers were already predicting the clips would go viral before the night was over. And they were right. On social media, the debate was being clipped, captioned, and shared with millions. Some praising Murray for saying what needed to be said, others defending Starmer and Rayner against what they saw as an ambush. But one thing was certain, the discussion wouldn't die down anytime soon. And somewhere in the middle of it all, Douglas Murray's calm stare into the camera lingered in people's minds. The look of someone who'd known exactly how that night would end. Politics is a game of words, but sometimes it's the silence after a question that does the most damage. In this clash, every moment of hesitation became its own headline, and every reaction told its own story. One night, one debate, and reputations were pushed to their limits. The audience didn't just watch a political conversation, they watched a political turning point.